Hi, Sasha here. How are you doing? Hoping you're having a great day. I'm going to be talking today about working online. I've decided I'm going to talk a little bit more about this, but basically I'm going to be, I don't know if you've heard that so many people are talking about working online and is it it's the way to go, it's the future. And have you thought about working online? I don't know if you have, and if you're not sure what to do or have you no idea where to start or anything like that, I thought, now more than ever being able to work online is and earn money while stuck at home has been seen as being so much of an advantage. It's been really good. So many more people are making this transformation, and I thought, or wanting to, I'm feeling a bit lost about it. I thought it might be helpful as someone who's worked online. I do work online, not full time. Okay, I hasten to add, but I do work online. And I thought it might be helpful for me to give sort of like an open and honest discussion about what it's like and who can do it, etc. So that you can make your own decisions about it. One video wasn't enough, so I thought I'll do a series of 7 videos. I'll see, I think it will be 7, okay, to help you make your own choices, basically. So I'm calling it the Choosing to Work Online series, which I hope you like. Thanks, Cody. Hey, you're looking good too. All right. Okay. So today I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of working online. All right. Because, everybody is different. Everybody's going to find, and I don't want you to feel pushed in a particular direction. Hey, Hannah. Hey there. Hey, Renata. Hi there. I don't want you to feel pushed in a particular direction. So what I thought I'd do is I'd give you sort of some of the options, and then you can see whether it's right for you, because what's right for me, it's not necessarily right for you, you see. Okay, so I don't, there's a lot of people that say that, there are only certain people can work online, and I don't necessarily think that's actually true. There's nothing mythical or so really, really different about working online or from home from a traditional work. It's more that you don't have to be a hugely driven entrepreneur. Okay, some people are, or a big techie either. You don't have to know the ins and outs of loads of technology to do it. Okay, the main thing is, just like working in an office, is that you just have to be, you have to set it up in the right way for you, that works for you, that creates the right environment for you, and that suits your personality, your needs, your skills, everything. So, as I said, I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons. So what are they for working online? Every job is different, so not all of these comments that I make are actually going to be right for everyone, okay? For some jobs, some of them might be a bit different. But I thought I'd give you a sort of picture of this, and hopefully I haven't overlooked any. It should give you a pretty thorough pros and cons. I might be a little bit light on the cons. So anyway, if you have got any more, please add them, send me a message, okay, guys? All right, so I'm going to start now anyway to give you a few ideas. So first of all, as you probably realise, working online means you can actually work from pretty much anywhere, okay? So if you're stuck at home, which some people may be at the moment, whether that's because of a lockdown, or you're a stay-at-home mum, or you work online generally anyway, you can work online from home. You just need a good internet connection, okay? You can decide to go somewhere if you want to, have a change of scene, get more inspiration. You go to the park, go wherever you decide you want to go, okay? And do that if you want to. You can take a train somewhere if you like and work on the way there, and then work on the way back, and actually then explore wherever it is you've gone to. This is sort of an idea that I've heard sort of quite a few times from a mentor that I follow. He often does that, and I think it's a great idea. Only thing is, here in Cyprus we don't have the trains, so it's not so good. But never mind, on a train you can actually work, because we now have internet connections there. And also, obviously, you can actually travel around the world. Hey, Rita. You can travel around the world and still work, from just about anywhere, okay, which is really great. I mean, I like to travel, so for me it's wonderful, I have to say. And I call that freedom, okay. Number 2, no commute. All right, so if you think about it, you're saving time and money and stress for not having to commute to work. So you don't have to, depending on what your commute is, it might be that you have to drive to a train station, park, pay for your parking, which is very expensive. I mean, I know I used to spend a fortune doing that. and then you'll waste the time on the train, on the tube, maybe on the metro, sorry, for other people. And then you may be, or you may be having to drive. Like I used to drive sort of about an hour to work and an hour back. So you can be sort of saving 2 to 4 hours a day. All right. Now, you know, we always talk about how precious time is and how we wish we had time for this and time for that. Well, if you imagine, if you're saving yourself 2 to 4 hours a day commute, what can you use that time for? You could actually do some of those things you've been wanting to do before, but you've not had the time to. So I think that's brilliant. Okay. So obviously running on from that is you save money, not just on the commute and the car parking, but also if you think about it, you haven't got work clothes to buy. You haven't got to pay for like expensive lunch and refreshments because, you know, quite often, like when I used to work in Covent Garden, all the restaurants and cafes and everything, all the place to get work is always so expensive. And, you know, it's not what I would pay at home. I mean, at home, you can have done your weekly shop or whatever and have your food in, and you can make yourself a nice, healthy lunch. And it's a lot cheaper. Okay. And it doesn't cost as much to just sort of have your tea or whatever that you have during the day, or coffee if you're a coffee addict. I'm not, but other people I know do love their coffee. You can also so that was number 3, save money. Number 4, you can spend more time with your family if you want to. Hey, Christine. Hey there. Hi there. How you doing? Good to see you watching. I will be doing a presentation soon at Carpe Diem if you're around. Some people, so you can spend more time with your family if you want to, which I think is very important. For some people want to do that, some people don't, but you know, family and friends and everything. So it's a great chance to be able to sort of change your life and around to how you want it, with freedom of time, flexibility, money, etc. Okay. And I thought I'd then do something a bit sort of the reverse of that, if you like. Number 5 is you don't have to talk to people. Some people, you know, conversely, there's some people who actually don't want to be sociable and find having to be around people all day is painful for them. You know, not everybody is the same, everybody's different. And so for them, the idea of working online is probably heaven. So yeah, that's another advantage, if you like. As well, flexibility. I like this one, it's great here. Krasimir, hey. Great to have all you guys online. It's great. Okay, so you can organize your work around your schedule when you're working online, with most jobs. Okay, there's some where you are still very much on a clock, but you can, the ones that are more flexible, it's brilliant because, you know, if you want to go to the dentist, doctors, or you might not want to, but you have to, or if you want to go to yoga, pick up the kids from school, or go watch them perform at a school event, or something crops up like lunch with the girls, and you just and all you need to do is just rearrange a few things. You know, you can organize your own time and also arrange it around the times that you're more productive. You know, there's some people that are more productive in the morning, some people at night, so you can maybe work later on. You know, it's up to you. So that's what I really like, is having all that kind of flexibility. Number 7, health, which obviously for me is a big thing because, as you know, I'm very much into your healthy body, healthy mind, etc. So when you're at home, you can eat better. You're far more in control of what you're doing. And so, yeah, no, it's a good, very, very good like that, because, and also if you're following a particular way of eating, if you're doing keto or low carb or something like that, it's much easier when you're at home as well. So you can do that. Also, to find the time to exercise, you know, you can do it at home, which is what I tend to do, or you can go to a nearby gym. You know, you can arrange your time around that, you know, get a schedule that works for you. Okay. And it's also a lot less stress, which is number 8. You know, 1, you're more comfortable at home. You can wear comfortable clothes. No one looking over your shoulder, whatever thing. So you get a much better work-life balance overall, not just stress, but stress, obviously, having that causes you less stress. I find it very, very much so. And also, so number 9, in some cases, you can be your own boss. You know, some of you will actually can do the same or very similar job to what you're doing now, but you just do it online, you do it from home. Some people may decide on some other things, whether it's freelancing or contract work or other things, where you're actually your own boss. So obviously you get to choose, you know, how you run your business. You get to choose, which day, whether you want to take a day off or have a holiday, and you can have, you're not, restricted to your 20 or 25 days holiday or less. I think in the States it might be about 14 days holiday. I can't remember. So being your own boss is a great thing. It's not for everybody. Okay. I love it personally, and I would never do anything else myself now. But it's one of the options that you can have. Okay. But don't panic. You don't have to be. All right. Number 12, low startup and running costs. So whether you're starting up a business online, again, most of the time the startup costs are pretty low if you actually compare it to a normal traditional bricks and mortar company. Okay. And the running costs are low as well. Because if you think about it, you're not paying the extra rent or utilities on a office and other fixed costs. I have to say I have a huge respect for people who open up retail outlets. If you think about it, they have big sort of fixed costs because usually retail space is pretty hefty in terms of rent. You've got your electricity and all the other bills as well. But also, if you think about it, they've got to have stock. And stock is not cheap, and you can't just have a few little bits in a shop. You've got to have it full. So for me, I have huge respect for people to do that because it is a huge investment and huge risk. Okay. So from my point of view, I prefer to do something where I start everything small cost, if you like. So I'm very, very flexible. So that's just sort of one of the things there. Starting up a business can cost virtually nothing, There's all kinds of things. I'm going to run through tomorrow some ideas for different things that you could do, okay? Tax breaks, 13 tax breaks. Yes, in some countries, if you're working online, there are actually some tax advantages for it, especially in the States, I know there is. Number 14, everyone wants to know what you do, how you do it, especially now. People always say, oh, so you work online, isn't that fantastic? How do you do it? I'd love to be able to do that myself. So you're going to be Mr. and Mrs. Popular, asking you loads of questions. So again, that's quite a good thing, all right? So that's all the pros out of the way. So now the cons, all right? So what are some of the issues that you may have with working online? Well, first of all, really, I suppose, is the lack of structure. So that's number one. So with some jobs that you do online, there's not really a specific like start time or finish time. And so you might start a bit late one day and then a little bit later the next day. And it kind of goes on so that you end up not really being as efficient as you should be. So you do have to be disciplined to remain productive, okay? Some people can't, and also some people can't cope with having no structure and less stress. Some people actually need some like positive stress, if you like. They need their deadlines. It doesn't mean that you can't work online. It just means you have to put a structure in place that works for you. And if you need to create deadlines, create deadlines. If that's going to help you do your work better, fantastic. Okay. The structure is one of these things that is just, it's very important for some people, and also is a good way to try and sort of discipline yourself to make sure that you are doing everything as much as you can. So yeah, it's up to you. You have to put things in place. Temptations and distractions. So yes, unless you have a structure in place, there's a lot of possible temptations and distractions around you, especially if you're working from home. So shopping, cleaning, cooking, DIY, Netflix. On the other hand, your home might be the cleanest it's ever been. And no, I just want to say, Game of Thrones is not research, okay? So, all right. Okay, so yes, there's all of that. Plus, number 3 is something as well. That happens to all of us, interruptions, basically. You can be doing something, somebody may come in and ask you questions or ask you this or that, and you're trying to work and they're not really understanding that you're at work because you're actually at home. So it's a bit difficult. So it might take a little bit of time to get people used to doing that and to make sure that you're not getting interrupted all the time. Okay, number 4, socializing and networking. All right. Okay, so working online can cut down on the sort of socializing that you do at work, as we used to say, by the water cooler or whatever. But yeah, we used to meet people, even at the food machine and you have a little chat and stuff like that. And you might miss out on that, and also networking opportunities, obviously. Sometimes at work, some people want to schmooze as such, or, you might have particular meetings that is a good chance for people to see how you work, so that, there's opportunities maybe in the future. But as with anything, there's always ways around this. So you just have to be a bit creative and flexible in your thinking, and you can find solutions for most things, okay? Number 5, reliance on a good internet connection, obviously. It's very hard to work online if your internet is either very slow or off completely. But if you think about it, there's usually coffee shops or something that are near where you live that do have internet, and most of them do have pretty good internet. You just have to put things in place basically if disaster strikes, or if you're traveling as well, you need to get used to the idea of actually being aware of where there is internet and where there isn't, and where you can find it, okay? Or setting things in place so you can put warnings out to say, okay, I'm offline at the moment and I will be online at this time, okay? This one's quite a difficult one for you. Number 6 is keeping work and home separate. So we were talking about work-life balance, which can be great, but also you have to realise that it might go down if you don't maintain some kind of separation between work and your personal life. If you're working in the same place that you live. So sometimes it's quite a good idea to create a particular space for working, so that is your workspace, and anything away from that is not your workspace, okay? So it's up to you. You have to sort it out so you can switch work off and be able to be back to being, relaxed. I'm at home, I'm ready to socialise, ready to have fun with my family and friends, okay? Number 7, your work environment, okay? So, some of the things that can happen, it can happen at in an office as well, but if you imagine you're working, really getting into your work, you just got a great idea and the flow is going fantastically, and then suddenly somebody starts up with a drill, there's workmen next door, and it's a bit of a nightmare. So, you have to find a way around that, whether it's earplugs, putting on some music and headphones, or whether it's actually going somewhere else where there's internet and working from, say, a coffee shop or something, Or you might discover that bargain chair that you loved and you thought was great is not so good for your back. It's a thing that we talk about with the ergonomics, just making sure, because more at work, they're more aware of that, so that the workplace is usually more designed to make sure that you don't get any injuries. So be careful about it, make sure that you've got your seat the right height, feet in the right place, etc. Make sure how you're reaching for things and etc. is all good, okay? But so what I'm saying is you don't have to, it doesn't mean just because you haven't got the normal work environment you can't do it. It just means you just have to take a little bit of time, set it up right, use your common sense and everything, and do that. Probably though, if you're sort of somebody whose first answer to everything is to complain and be negative, then working online might not be for you, okay? In the sense that what I'm saying is, if you're not somebody who's good at adapting to different things and changing things to what situations that come up, then maybe that's not for you, okay? But if you are somebody who's open to just sort of saying, okay, now what am I going to do? I've got this noise everywhere, oh my God. Right, okay, I've got this sorted. And find a solution, okay? All right, so I hope this has given you a bit of an idea about the pros and cons. I think I've fairly well covered it. If I've forgotten something, I apologise. Please, put it in a comment there on anything that I've forgotten, or send me a message. And hopefully this is going to help you to make the decision as to whether you want to work online or not. So watch out for episode 2 tomorrow. I think it should be tomorrow. I think what I'm going to be covering on is I'm going to give you some inspiration. I thought I'm trying to do this in a logical sort of order. So I think it makes sense tomorrow to talk about some of the different work that you can do online. So hopefully give you a bit of inspiration. Of course, I'm not going to be able to do absolutely everything, but I'm going to try and give a few different ones typically that people choose. And if it interests you, you can also message me direct on Facebook and find out what it is that I do online. No worries, you're welcome to ask, not a problem. Okay, just send me a message, as I said. And yeah, have a great day. Hope you've enjoyed this. Hope this was useful. Take care. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye.